After losing the Wimbledon final to Novak Djokovic in July 2022, Aussie tennis superstar Nick Kyrios was eager to settle the scores and avenge his loss at the World Tennis League in Dubai. But with just a few hours left in the epic battle, Novak shocked everyone by pulling out. And as usual, Nick lost his cool in Dubai after colliding with a line judge during his match against Felix Auger-Aliassime. Keep watching for more on both stories. First up, a rematch to settle the scores. Nick has a habit of holding grudges, and after suffering a defeat to Novak at the Wimbledon final last year in July, he's been eager to get his revenge. Now this goes without saying, you can't really compare an exhibition tennis league match to the final, but either way, Nick said it was his guarantee of a rematch to settle the scores. And since it was a team tournament, both men were set to lead their side in a high voltage showdown with fans packing the arena to watch them square off. But with just a few moments left in the exciting battle, Novak surprised everyone by announcing he had to pull out of the fight due to some health issues. Ladies and gentlemen, unfortunately, Novak Djokovic doesn't feel 100% fit to play this evening. No tennis fan in the arena wanted to hear those words, and while he was still spotted courtside supporting Team Falcons, the fans were disappointed since they were waiting for the clash for quite some time. It was arguably the most anticipated match of the entire tournament, and while his team still managed to edge out a victory over the Eagles, the fans were anything but happy. It was the matchup everyone wanted, and believe it or not, Novak even got called a coward, with fans saying it was very typical of him to pull out because he's always been scared to play against Nick. And while the Serb was fit and participated in the rest of the tournament, he missed out on what was supposed to be the perfect game to end the year. Next, the outcome didn't really matter. There's no nice way to put this, but Novak got slammed for pulling out of the game. The fans in the arena were clearly upset, and let's not even talk about the reactions he got on Twitter. Along with being called a coward, tennis enthusiasts were furious, calling it weird how he was fit enough to jump around on the sideline. And we are not exactly blaming him because at the end of the day, it's just an exhibition match and the outcome didn't really matter, but pulling out at the 11th hour? Now that's unfair. One Twitter user even said it was nothing but a ploy to sell tickets and get everyone excited for the tournament, since Novak spent the entire night dancing on the sidelines. And we know what you're thinking right now, if he can spend the entire night dancing, he could have played for a couple of hours. But that's not how things work. He needs to take care of himself, and it's not like they'll never play again. There's actually some news going around that both players are discussing a potential exhibition match at Melbourne Park right before the Australian Open. Nothing is confirmed as of yet, and if we're being honest, we don't even know if the match will be streamed or not, since it's mainly an attempt to squeeze in a competitive battle as both gentlemen prepare for the first Grand Slam of the year. And as for Nick's reaction to the Serb pulling out of the WTL, he wasn't too upset about it and said that he needs to take care of his body, so it's all good. Moving on, no hard feelings. Considering how Nick usually flips out when something doesn't go his way, he actually handled Novak's last-minute drama quite nicely. There were no hard feelings as he shared how he needs to take care of his body, especially when you look at all the things coming up this season. There are a lot of expectations on him and he'll need to make sure he's feeling 100% to avoid missing out on any major matches or titles. And when Kyrios said he wants to avenge the Wimbledon loss at the WTL in Dubai, he didn't mean it like he was ready to blast his head off or something. He just wanted to go out there and have some fun. Sure, he was super excited to battle it out in front of a packed arena, but at the end of the day, there were no hard feelings. The Aussie also said he wasn't really surprised when his opponent pulled out, because when you think about it, it's nothing but an exhibition match. There's nothing on the line, and since this is the inaugural tournament, everyone wanted to play for the fans and nothing else. But that's also the main reason why everyone was calling him a coward, because the fans literally showed up to watch them play. If you ask us, we think he did the right thing here, because there are so many major events coming up in the next couple of months, and he probably wants to be at his best to grab some more titles. It would suck if he injured himself right before the Australian Grand Slam. Now for a fun version of doubles. Considering how both Nick and Novak don't really play doubles, this tournament was really fun to watch since we got to see some of the best play together in the same team. And believe it or not, there was actually some prospect of Kyrios playing alongside his former girlfriend, Ayla Tomljanovic. But yeah, he really loved the format, and even for us as fans, it was something new as we got to see the world's best female tennis players play alongside the best male tennis stars. Nick explained it brilliantly and also enjoyed a bit of banter. Before the tournament even started, he was pumped to be sharing the court with global tennis stars. He said it was going to be really fun letting the females do their thing and not get in the way. Not only is it fun to watch, but it's also interactive because it's a side to the game we never really get to see. Credit to the WTL for giving us a new entertaining tournament where the players get to relax and enjoy some good tennis without so much on the line. Because we've seen Nick when there's a lot riding on the match, and he is an animal. He's swearing at referees, smashing rackets, and even talking back to fans. And speaking of swearing at referees, did you know he got into another argument with the umpire after colliding with the line judge? It's funny because the Dubai tournament was the only place where he wasn't supposed to lose his cool. Following up, an on-court collision. Look guys, we're not making fun of him or anything, but it's epic watching Nick lose his cool. He's literally a loose cannon and speaks exactly what's on his mind, regardless of who he's talking to. It happened again during the WTL in Dubai as he was taking on Kite's team member Felix Auger-Aliassime. The scores were locked at 3-3, and despite being an exhibition match, you could tell things were getting head. Both gentlemen were going all out in an attempt to seal the deal, but while trying to hit a return, Kyrios collided with the line judge. He still got the ball back in play, but because of the collision, he ended up losing the point. He was furious afterward and went nuts, yelling at the judge for not moving out of the way. It was funny, and we're not going to say who was at fault here, but the line judge could have moved out of the way in time. He was right to be frustrated, but there's a better way of handling things, especially when there's an entire arena full of fans wanting to have a good time. The last thing they want to see is Nick berating an umpire for not moving out of the way because, well, it's not exactly good sportsmanship, right? We know things were getting heated and all, but he could have just had a laugh about it since there was nothing on the line. But it doesn't end there. After beefing with the line judge, he also went off on the referee for not calling a foul. Up next, it was wide. The verbal exchange with the line judge was nothing compared to what he said to the referee. His opponent's serve was clearly out, and for some odd reason, the referee failed to call it, which lit Nick up in flames. He started yelling again, asking the referee why he didn't call it wide since it was out. But that's not all. Then he also offered the referee to relax as he takes up his job, since he was the one correcting things. Now the referee did apologize to the crowd, not for the call, but for misreading the scores. The referee read the scores as 6-8, 5-11, and 1-1, and that sent the Aussie into another frenzy, as he was just standing there confused, asking everyone what in the world is even going on here. The Canadian went on to win the intense battle and put the Kites ahead in the tournament. It was probably because of these moments Nick lost his composure and the match, because he was doing pretty well at one point. Last but not least, a showdown before the Grand Slam. Like we said before, both Nick and Novak have already chatted about giving the fans what they want, but the Aussie actually had some very specific conditions for the matchup. He wants shorter sets to just get a decent warm-up before the Grand Slam, and remember when we said we're not even sure if we'll get to watch it? Well, Nick doesn't want that. He wants the match to be for the fans, and that's why they'll probably have streaming arrangements if it goes down. Let's see, guys. We are really hoping we get to witness the two greats take each other on, especially what happened after Wimbledon. That's it from our side, folks. So what do you think? Will Nick Kyrios be able to avenge his Wimbledon loss against Novak Djokovic before the Australian Grand Slam? Let us know in the comments below. Remember, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to our channel for more interesting videos in the future. Thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you next time.